Hello, hello, everyone. It's me, Arden Lee. I am back today with another video, and in today's video, I want to talk about the fact that um, we never really get to slack off on the habits we're creating that keep us in a good frame of mind. This is something that I've been over with a couple of my clients lately that I see kind of coming up in different places. So I wanted to make a video on the subject to address that because it seems like it's a lesson that is going to come in handy for a number of people right now. Before I get into that, of course, as always, if you are not familiar yet with me or my work, my name is Arden Lee, and I am the creator of the Repatterning Project, which is an 8-week course where we pop the hood and look at all our beliefs, our internal algorithms, our social conditioning, our trauma programming, everything that affects what we do and the choices that we make and where we choose to put our focus. And we take a look at that and we expand our viewpoint around it. And we start to make those choices on purpose and bring conscious, deliberate mindfulness to all of our decision making. And that is in the spirit of helping us get our lives into places where we are optimized for success and for happiness. So this is definitely quite a relevant talk today. But if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and check out the link to the PDF that I have in the description box, where you can read all about what we do in that course. And you can also check out a link to the free Facebook group that I moderate called the Repatterning Parlor for people who are interested in this and want to learn a little more and want to exchange support with like-minded individuals who are also on that same path toward happiness and goals achievement and all those wonderful things. So goals achievement. I'm tired today, you guys, quite clearly. um, so all right. So where do I want to? How do I want to get into this? Here's something that that is really interesting that I've been coming across in a number of people. Is I'll work with clients and we'll spend a few sessions getting some real, simple but effective strategies for them to start getting their lives more under their control, bringing more conscious awareness to their decisions, and helping them achieve a state where they feel in flow with things. They feel good, they feel confident, right? Because part of achieving emotional self-mastery, and I've mentioned this in videos before, is learning what makes you feel a certain way and starting to bring conscious awareness to that so you can start to make your choices based on how you want to feel, right? Can you imagine if the whole world is like, your experience in the world is like getting a menu. You're sitting down at a restaurant and your menu is like, how do you want to feel today? I want to feel happy. I want to feel happy but mellow. I don't want to, or I want to feel really excited. I want to feel pumped, I want to feel like, I don't think anyone out there ever really feels like I want to feel angry, right? But if you do feel angry, maybe what you want to do is you want to process that. You want to get to the root of the anger, so whatever it is. But there are also things like on the menu that's like, this will make you feel angry, right? Why do I get into Facebook arguments with people all the time that trigger me and make me feel angry when people are just being jerks on the internet or whatever, right? It's like, because I'm looking at the menu and on some level I'm choosing like, wow, I want to be angry for the next 3 hours, right? But we do this. So it's about bringing conscious awareness to all the experiences that we possibly have in the world at any given moment and choosing how we want to feel, right? I can choose that I want to feel guilty and lethargic for the whole day by hitting the snooze button, or I can choose that I want to feel, motivated and I want to feel accomplished by getting up and making my bed and maybe doing some yoga on my balcony or something like that. I've actually never done yoga on my balcony, and now that I say that out loud, it's probably something that I probably should choose, because maybe on some level I'm still seeing the menu and I'm still choosing, maybe I'm choosing the snooze button or whatever, where I could be choosing yoga on the balcony, and that would actually be making me feel a lot better, right? So here's the thing, is if that is the key to achieving emotional self-mastery, which I truly believe that it is understanding all the choices that we have available to us in the moment and how they're going to make us feel, and being able to curate in the moment, to discern and to say, I want this and I want that, and I don't want to feel that and I don't want to feel that. Now, it's not enough to just say, I don't want to feel that, I'm going to repress it. We want to choose, I sustainably do not want to feel that, so therefore I'm going to go under. I'm going to like look at what's going on here. I'm going to give myself that diagnosis, and then I'm going to address the issue head on, and I'm going to solve it for myself so that in the long run, I don't have to deal with repressing those emotions, right? So there's such a difference between actually dealing with our shit and actually, repressing it. But maybe what we do want to say is like, hey, I have to get through a work day today, so I don't want to feel that way right now. So I'm going to temporarily repress it until I can talk to my coach on the weekend, right? That's a choice. That's a choice that is like, that's just about, you got to do what you got to do. That's, what it is for your survival. I really like having a life where it is very rare that I actually have to repress anything, that I get to really live authentically in the moment. And, because my priority is learning how to achieve that emotional self-mastery for myself, because the more I learn how to do that for me, the more I can be helpful in teaching it to other people. So for me, I've chosen a life where, I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a schedule that is generally fairly flexible, because even though I make my commitments and I honor my commitments, ultimately, if something happens, if something comes up for me and I'm like, oh my God, I need to stay in bed and process this all day, then I get to do that, and if I have a client scheduled for that day, sometimes I've had clients in the past where like, I've had like a really horrible, unexpected breakup the day before, and I've been like, hey, I'm still technically available to meet today, but I want you to know that I personally am processing some really difficult things. So I would love to work with you if you're still feeling called, because I actually feel like it'll help me to actually, focus on you for a little while. But I want to make that disclaimer because, you're paying for this session, and you also deserve me at my best. So do you want to work today, given that this is what's going on with me? Or would you rather, work on a different day? And in the very rare instances where I've had to say that, actually, I've had some clients who were like, no, I love you and accept you, and I want to work with you. Like, you're so great at being authentic that, who knows, maybe this session will be even better and even more honest because you're so dropped into your truth right now. Maybe you can also help me with mine, so, but it's about that free will choice. Anyway, so it's about that emotional self-mastery, right? But being in and achieving that emotional self-mastery means understanding that we're making those focused choices every day on what we're choosing to experience. And what I'm seeing a lot right now is I'm seeing a lot of my clients who started to develop the habits that we worked on, and then, some of the same problems will start to come up again. And I checked in with them and I was like, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you doing, and they're like, oh, no, I stopped doing that. And I was like, okay, why did you stop? And they're like, well, I was feeling good. I didn't feel like I had to do it anymore. And I'm like, come on, you guys, it's just like our habits that we make they're like, it's almost like if you're taking psychiatric medication. And I've seen this with people as well. I've seen people where they'll go on medication and for, depression or anxiety or whatever it is, and it'll make them feel better. And then they'll be like, oh wow, I feel better now. I guess I don't need my meds anymore. I'll just go off my meds. And then of course, they start feeling worse again. I'm also not, just as an aside, I'm not a huge proponent of relying on meds for life necessarily, but I do believe that we need to like get to that state. I believe that what meds are really great at doing is they're great at putting out the fires so that we can have the presence of mind to actually start addressing our internal state. Maybe some people do need to be on meds for their whole lives. That's fine. It's a free will universe. Only you can know what's right for you. But the necessary thing is to know in your body, if you need that, or to know if you can address that internally by looking at and examining your beliefs. That's what I did. I used to be on a lot of meds, and I'm completely meds free today, except for cannabis. And sometimes I take Qualia as a supplement because, man, Qualia is awesome. I'm super into it now. I'm not sponsored by Qualia, though. If they want to sponsor me, that would be rad, But Qualia Focus and Mind both kind of help me get into that state where it's like, if I need to do a lot of work in one day, I take Focus. I'm like, if I need to really be in a space where I'm ready to listen and hold compassion for people and really, really like drop into my kind of loving kindness, Even when, I might feel frazzled or busy or irritated or whatever, then I take mind or whatever. But you see, as I'm giving you these examples, you guys, this is what I want you to listen to. I do the things that I need to do in order to get into the state that I need to be in, or that I want to be in, that is optimal for me to be in, right? If I need to do some work on my business, I know that the smartest thing for me to do is to schedule a coffee with a friend where we get to talk about what we're doing with our lives, because the caffeine from the coffee is going to make me pumped, and talking to my friend about all of my business plans is going to re-inspire me and remind me of why I'm doing it in the first place, because I'm talking it out to someone and explaining it, and I get to experience it for the first time as well, right? So my point is, you don't ever get to a spot where you just get to ditch all your habits because you're feeling fine again. Like, that life does not exist. If you suddenly stopped getting up in the morning and, doing your yoga, or keeping your mood journal or your gratitude journal, or you're doing your morning pages or whatever it is, then naturally you're going to see your results slide. This is not just a pill that you take to start, feeling better and then you forget about it. This is about creating a life where those habits become sustainable. And what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to get to that point of flow where it's then, this is creating a feedback loop, right? You get to that point of flow by incorporating those habits, and you start feeling better. And then as you start feeling better, as you start feeling like you are in that state of flow, then it's easier to maintain those habits, and you want to make sure that you are maintaining them, especially when you feel good, especially, because there is a danger. And that danger is that if you're only doing if you're only doing the things to try and make yourself feel good, when you don't feel good, you will slowly start to anchor, Pavlovian conditioning wise, you will start to anchor the feeling of not feeling good to the things that you want to do to start you feeling good, right? So if you're only keeping a mood journal when your moods are bad, then of course you're going to associate keeping your mood journal with bad moods. And when you start, doing it in the future, you're gonna be like, I'm in a bad mood again, gotta do my mood journal. This is what I do when I'm depressed. No. You've gotta do it when you feel good. You've gotta anchor it to that state of happiness and flow. That's super, super, super important, you guys. So I'm realizing for myself as a coach now how much it actually may be necessary sometimes to stay on top with with my clients, with all their habits that they're doing. I'm realizing for myself that I wish it were enough for me to just tell someone to do something once and that they would then just do it. But and I feel like when I do that, it's coming from a place of kindness, because it's coming from a place of really wanting their efficiency. I want to, like, in my mind, sometimes I have to remember that not everyone has that same mindset of like, okay, we tackled that problem, right? We got that one already. We actually, because I want to be like, we tackled that problem, let's get on to the next one. I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste your time as a client. If you need me to get on the phone with you and go over every single thing that you're supposed to be doing at the start of every session, then I'm fine with that. I just don't naturally gravitate to that, because I feel like I want to solve people's problems, and I want to open up more and more expansion, and I want to keep moving forward because because I care about my clients' results. But honestly, like, sometimes going slower and making sure you're developing those habits so that they are sustainable is more helpful. And if that's something that they want to do with me in the session, then I'm going to be aware, and I'm going to start offering that more. I'm going to be like, do we have to go over this every session? Do you want me to check in with you and make sure that you're still doing the thing that you said you were going to do? So I'm going to start bringing more consciousness to that for myself as a coach. So this is a great lesson for me too. But the thing I want to tell you, whether you're a client of mine now or not, or whether you're thinking of becoming one in the future, the thing I want to say ultimately in this video is just that you don't ever get to stop maintaining your habits. It just gets easier and easier. And one of the things I told one of my clients on the phone this evening is I said, I've got friends who are running multiple six-figure businesses, looking to take them into 7 figures. Friends of mine who are, like 40-year-old millionaire white dudes, and they still call each other up and say, how do you get motivated in the morning? And they talk about taking their alarm clock and moving it to the other side of the room, putting it near the bathroom sink so that in the morning when they get up, they don't just want to hit the snooze button, that they have to go over and walk to the bathroom sink and turn off their alarm there so that by that time they can splash some water on their face and they're awake. They feel the minty toothpaste on the toothbrush stimulating their mouths, and that wakes them up too, right? But they still have to put their alarm clock on the other side of the room. We don't ever get to a point where we don't have to do those things. It just becomes easier and easier and easier to do them. But if you were to stop doing them, and if you were to start hitting the snooze button, if that CEO of that 7-figure company decides, I don't need my alarm clock by the bathroom sink anymore, I'm just going to put it on my night table, I can trust myself now, it's fine, and then wakes up and hits snooze, then his company is going to go under. The difference with that person is that he's going to recognize it right away, and he's going to say, oh shit, I'm not getting the results I want. I need to put my alarm clock back on the bathroom sink again so I stop hitting the snooze button. So you guys, we don't ever get to just hit the snooze button. We always have to maintain our good habits, but we want to do them in a way that feels sustainable, that feels joyful, that feels in flow, that feels, that feels easy, that feels like it's just the life that we're living. But until we get to that point where those habits continue to go, please, 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 I beg of you, you guys, please do not treat your good habits as just something you do when you're depressed, because if you do, you will start to associate your good habits with depression, and it will be harder and harder for you to do them when you actually do feel good. You'll be like, I don't need this anymore. So start just doing things from that place of feeling good. Use that momentum when you do feel good and say, I feel great right now. How much can I get done today? How much can I write myself out a list of the habits that I really want to incorporate, and I'm going to start doing them, and I'm going to actually start being faithful to them. I'm going to start being faithful to that list. And now that I'm in a good place and I feel confident that I'm going to be able to get this done, can I just do that now? So that is my ask to you guys. Please, 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 please maintain your good habits, and do it sustainably. Just don't just do it when you need them, because think of them like medication. Think of them like you are on meds, and if you are just going on meds, if you're just actually don't think of them like meds, because meds you want to be able to replace with good habits eventually. Sometimes, at least I do. If that's something that calls to you, if you don't want to be on meds forever, then don't think of it like that. But your habits, you just want them. You just want them to be there with you. You want them to stay with you. So nobody, even that CEO of the 7-figure business, gets to put his alarm clock on snooze. Nobody. We all want to maintain that. It just gets easier over time. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you're having trouble maintaining your habits, come join us in the Repatterning Parlor and get some support. Just click on that link that's in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.